Hi, I'm Sarah from sarahkbranderscontent.com, and today's short marketing magic lesson is all about the power of the email list for growing your coaching business. So whether you are a brand new coach with a brand new business, or whether you've been at this for a number of years but you've hit a slump or it's just not growing, I want to convince you today with 3 quick reasons why the email list is so important to you. So the first thing to consider is that you own your contacts when it's your email list. So if you think about all the people that follow you on social media, you don't own those contacts. The social media platform owns those contacts. So you are fighting with the algorithm as to how often they see you. And that means that, sometimes you've got to pay to play, as they say on social media. So you might find that you're having to pay to boost your Facebook posts for people who are fans of your page to actually see them. That's not great from a return on investment point of view. If you are emailing people, with the small exception of sometimes it gets caught in the spam filter, for the most part, people are going to receive that email and it's their choice and whether they open it and read it or not. And it's not just about whether the social media platform chooses to show it to them or not. So you've got a bit more control there. And obviously you don't have to pay to play in the same way that you do on social media. So reason number 2 follows on from reason number 1. When you are marketing to people, you want to have consistent interactions because you need to build a relationship with them. You should really think of content marketing as relationship building. People need to get to know, like, and trust you before they're going to be interested in what you're selling. So having those consistent interactions is really important. And thinking back to point number 1, if you're playing algorithm roulette, you don't know how consistently you're going to be showing up in people's feeds on social media. I'm not saying don't do it, but it's a backup, it's an extra, it's not the main thing. The main thing I want you to focus on is sending a regular email newsletter every week if you can. Not too much, don't go bonkers and email people every day because that's spammy and will scare people away, but once a week, send them something of value. Once a week, a useful tip, something that's of value to them. Tell a story, teach a lesson, give them a how-to, and then you can very safely follow that up with a small call to action at the end. Check out my coaching services or whatever you want that call to action to be, and do it consistently, because over time people will get used to hearing from you, find that they're enjoying your valuable tips, and they'll start to trust you, and that's really the process. And then point number 3 I've got for you today is that it's cost effective and it encourages repeat business. So if you think about social media advertising or Google search advertising, it's quite costly to get a sale from those without getting into details and such. Believe me when I say it can be quite costly if you haven't tried it. When you are emailing people, unless you're paying for some fancy software, for the most part, you're going to be doing it from a simple free email software account like MailChimp, for example. It's very, very cost effective. It takes you a little bit of time once a week to send that weekly newsletter, but your return on investment is going to be much better than if you were paying for advertising. A client is going to have much more of a profit margin if you've not spent a chunk of that client's money getting them in the first place. And it encourages repeat business because it reminds people that you're there. So once they've become your client once, so they've paid for one session with you, for example, it's easy for people to forget and move on with their lives. And this is very true in the therapy world. I have someone I go to, I'm a customer of hers, and she does massage therapy. And I go to her once in a while, and I get the relief that I need in my shoulder pain, and then I forget about her for a while. And it's her email newsletter that reminds me that she's still there, and that encourages my repeat business. And repeat business is amazing return on investment because you've only got to convince that person to get to know, like, and trust you once, and once they do, it's just a simple case of reminding them rather than having to do that whole courtship dance over again. So you own your contacts, you're not fighting upstream on the social media algorithms, you're building a relationship, and it's highly cost effective. I'm all about email marketing. If you're interested in some low-cost supported training with me to get you started with email training, check out the link in the description below. And I will leave it there for today. I'll see you tomorrow. That was a very noisy bin truck that went by, but it was right at the end of my video. just going to leave it. It is what it is. See you later.